Lily Tomlin is one of the best and beloved comedy actresses of the modern age. Her different comic characters are indelible, brought to life on stage and screen. As one of the stars of the famous Laugh-In TV series, she brought those characters into living rooms around the country. She was also a big hit in movies like 9 to 5. So, around 1978, she was cast in a spoof of a famous sci-fi picture called The Incredible Shrinking Man. The original film is considered a classic today and based on an acclaimed sci-fi story, so the idea of a comedic remake with a woman in the role was natural. And The Incredible Shrinking Woman, starring Lily Tomlin, was put into production. Originally, the movie had a budget of about $30 million, and John Landis was slated to direct. But then the studio cut the budget down to $10 million, and seeing where things were headed, the crapper, Landis understandably walked. Instead, this turned out to be the directorial debut of one Joel Schumacher. That's right, the guy who gave us nipples on the batsuit. Though, to be fair to George Clooney, Schumacher put them on Val Kilmer's too, and they just showed up more on Clooney's batsuit. The story is that harried housewife and mother of two, Pat Kramer, after being exposed to the many chemicals in everyday household products, begins to shrink. There seems to be no way to stop it, and doctors are baffled. She becomes an instant celebrity, which leads to problems for her, her family, and the whole neighborhood. Sadly, and it pains me to say this, but The Incredible Shrinking Woman is not some undiscovered gem, a classic deserving of the title. There are some really good things in the movie, and most of them are Lily Tomlin. She's great as both the harried but loving mom, as well as in the dual role of a fussy next-door neighbor, one of Tomlin's stage characters. The husband, played by Charles Grodin, is okay too, but the rest of the cast are pretty cartoonish and lack reality. Ned Beatty plays the husband's boss, and Henry Gibson is a scientist, and John Glover has an early role as a bad guy defense contractor. You do get to see lots of real products mixed in with the made-up ones. The husband is an ad executive. So you get to see the retro packaging from back in the day. And if you look fast, you'll spot Dick Wilson. That's right, Mr. Whipple himself, playing a grocery store manager. Mike Douglas, a famous singer and talk show host, appears too, interviewing Pat on a version of his show. Ultimately, though, the picture is disappointing. There are higher themes which they merely gloss over, such as the nature of a woman's place in the then modern world, and commercialism, and the health effects of chemicals in everyday products. Would have been nice to see them expand on that a bit, but they didn't. The movie never rises to the occasion, never exceeds the sum of its parts. You never know what you're dealing with here. Is this a screwball comedy? A regular comedy? An indie comedy? A slapstick comedy? Or what? They never seem to figure it out. In one spot, they resort to fast motion footage like Keystone Cops. You see the characters putting the groceries away. But you don't see that again. There's over-the-top performances, but most are laid back. Towards the end, they even throw in a guy in a gorilla suit because At that point, they probably figured, why not? Some of the scenes just meander around. Others seem cut too short, while others feel way too long. And the humor seems forced in places. The end result makes for a disjointed universe. A real muddle. Watching this, I kept thinking what it could have been, with both a decent budget as well as Landis at the helm. This could have been something special. Instead, it's just another meh, bland comedy that doesn't land. In fact, the author of the original source material, the science fiction story, Richard Matheson, called the picture terrible and unfunny. Sadly, he was right. Myself, I give it 1.5 paws up. It's not truly god awful, but it's not that great either. Shout Factory has put out a new Blu-ray edition of the movie. It's also on DVD, VHS, and Amazon Prime if you want to see it. Well, that's all I've got for you this time. I'll be back soon with another video. In the meantime, you take care of yourself, okay? And if you don't mind, give me a like and subscribe and ring the thing and fling the bling, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!